Now, beside me, if you're watching on YouTube, this lovely young lady, Miss Ruth Howard, and we're here to talk about We Talk Facts campaign, just as quickly as possible. And it's all about fostering a culture towards safety and support, yeah?
Yes.
Which is a major initiative to combat gender-based violence and promote a safer, more supportive Jamaican society. And it's a platform where you guys, challenge harmful stereotypes and ignite more open dialogue and
Yes.
gender roles and violence and all of that. Be a part of the change. Let's make Jamaica safer for all. So Ruth Howard, who is the program manager for We Talk, and it's all about the reduction of gender-based violence. To state I read it again because it's very, very important.
Say it again, it's
Yes,
alright.
and good night. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good night. I'm doing well. I'm
Yeah.
very happy to be here. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
No man, anytime, man. Can you just provide a brief overview of WMW Jamaica and its mission?
All right, so WMW Jamaica, we used to be Women's Media Watch before we changed our name. We're a 35-year-old women's rights organization that focuses primarily on how we can do three things, and we call it ART, A-R-T. It's the advocacy, which is us just going out and speaking out, whether it's at the parliamentary level in government, whether it's on the street corner with a placard, whether it's in schools. It's the advocacy, going out and speaking out on behalf of our women and girls. It's research as well, because you need the statistics and the data to back up what you're claiming.
Yes.
So we do a lot of research on the status of women in our society, and then the training, which is for us a very important arm, because that means you're going into communities and actually having the conversations with people on the ground and helping to teach and just talk to them about what gender-based violence is and how we as a society can prevent and reduce it.
Now, this initiative, this campaign, the We Talk Facts campaign, you've launched already.
Yeah.
The official launch.
Yeah, we launched it in May.
In May. So what's happening now? What we can look out for?
All right. So what is to come now is we're going to have our ads running on mainstream media, and that should start taking place in November. And the reason why we've selected November as the month to start running the ads is because in November, on the 25th, that is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, which is a really significant day, not just for us in Jamaica, but for women all across the globe. And then between the 25th and December 10, which is International Human Rights Day, we have what we call 16 days of activism, and it's where people from all over the world take action in different ways to help reduce and prevent violence against women. So we'll start running those ads on social media and on traditional media by November 25.
No, GBV is it's been plaguing our communities.
Yeah, it's been a problem.
It's been a problem. For the persons who may be, going through this at home and they're afraid to speak up, what tips would you say to them? How can they also go and get help?
All right, so there are hotlines which you can call, and I'm going to pull up the numbers so that I can give them to persons before we end this interview. But also, one of the first things we like to remind people is that there is help. So don't despair, don't harm yourself any further. There is help, there is assistance. There are support lines that I'll give you the number for those, but there are also community organizations. There are support systems that may already be inbuilt in your environment. There may be a person that you can talk to, whether it's from, whether your family structure, your church structure, your friend structure.
Yes.
There may be somebody who you can just reach out to get further assistance. So that's something that we always tell people. Lean on the people you can trust around you, because that immediate support might literally save a life. The next thing we also remind people is that if you are in a situation where you need to get out, but you cannot get out right now, start to make the plan. We've literally been in workshops where we're explaining what this is, and we hear people say things like, so if I have a friend who is going through this and she wants to leave, what can she do? And then we have to explain to them that we understand, because it's a very complex thing. It's not simple. So we understand that it's not like you can just get up and take up all of yourself and your children, if you have children, and move immediately. So what we encourage people to do is to start making a plan. Start making a plan right now. step one is usually, and it's so important because that's what you're talking about tonight, financial empowerment. You have to figure out how you're going to make it through the different days, right?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of decide, like, if I'm going to move from where I literally live, where am I going to go?
Yes.
And then you have to start making a plan for that. If I am moving from a situation where I'm being supported to supporting myself and my children, what does that look like?
Yeah.
You know, so you start making a plan, you start planning your steps a little at a time, and of course get the counseling, get the help, get the support.
Wow. Now, how can individuals and organizations support the We Talk Facts campaign and WMW Jamaica's broader efforts to combat GBV?
So one of the things that we've been rolling out under the project that is doing the We Talk campaign, which is the We Talk project, is we've been doing workshops across the island in different communities. And one of the things we tell people to do is to reach out to us if you would like us to bring that workshop to you. And we're very serious about that. We've gone into communities and done the workshop and had somebody come to us on the side and say, listen, I want this for my school, or I want this for my church, or for our citizens watch, or for the football club, whatever it is. And we're like, no problem. As long as we can agree on a date and a time and a venue, we will do our best to make that happen.
Yes.
So please feel free to reach out to us. The email is hello, HELLO, at WMWJA.org.
Can you repeat that again, please?
That's hello,
Yes.
HELLO, at WMWJA.org.
So I'm assuming that you guys also do these campaigns in high schools because, as you said, school, it just clicked to me that, especially these high schoolers who are trying to figure out themselves and, finding themselves, the all-boys schools, the all-girls schools, the co-ed schools, do you guys do these campaigns in the schools as well?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
So under this project, one of our special target groups is high schoolers.
Yes, I'm gonna need it.
And it has to be high schoolers because, listen, the age of consent in this country is 16, which means that our young people get exposed to a lot of sexual activity pretty early in life. And it's very important for them to know what consent is, for example. It's very important for them to know the difference between what a healthy relationship looks like and an unhealthy one looks like. And it's even more important for them to know what the warning signs are for things like abuse. Because there are some red flags. Just yesterday we were doing a workshop with a group of women from St. Catherine, and we were explaining that some of the red flags include things like isolation. When somebody starts to take you away from your support systems, they don't like your friend, they don't like your sister, the sister who is always there supporting you and taking care of you, and who you have all of a sudden she's a problem, or the best friend is suddenly a problem. When somebody starts to move you out of your community where you have healthy support, that's a big red flag, because isolation weakens you. It weakens your support structure. And then what they can do from there is they get to manipulate, they get to intimidate, they get to control. So isolation is one of the things that you look out for. You also look out for the indirect physical abuse. So they are not necessarily going to slap you. But when they get angry, dash with the phone. Mash up the phone. Mash up the glass.
Yes.
Them kinds of, kill the cat. That's an even bigger red flag, by the way. These are some of the signs that people might look at and say, oh, he was upset, or she was upset, because it's not always he, sometimes it's she. She was upset. But what it is implying or demonstrating is that there is that potential for greater violence. And that should be something that gets you on the alert and gets you paying careful attention. And then there are the kinds of abuse that people don't always see. Because if it's physical, you can't see the bruise, right? If it's sexual, you will feel the pain, right? But if it's psychological, for example, if it's emotional, you're not as likely to see or it's harder for you to identify that this is abuse. So somebody, for example, constantly criticizing you and putting you down and literally just telling you things like nobody else is going to love you. If you left me, you're not going to find nobody else. Things like that. That is a form of emotional abuse, because they're belittling you and they're demeaning you and they're going after your sense of worth and your self-esteem. And that's a serious thing. And that's something that a lot of people are going through, men and women, who they're probably not identifying that, said that is actually some emotional abuse that's going on there, and that is something to put a stop to. The psychological one, no, it's more the intimidation and the fear that a person causes you to feel. So it's the threats of what I can do to you, which is why things like the kill the cat is serious. Because it's like, you didn't kill the person, But the killing the cat is saying, look, man, we can do things to you.
Yes.
You have the potential for real violence. And you have to be aware and alert and know to look out for some of these warning signs. And also to just be able to identify some of these things and call them what they are, which is abuse. Yeah.
Wow. Such a great initiative. And, I must commend you guys for what you're doing, and continue going in these communities and continue spreading the message. If it is that people would like to make contact with you, once again, just leave all that information, the website, the social media pages, the telephone numbers, and just remind us of the next stop in these communities. Where are you going next and the date?
All right, so I'm looking for the helpline numbers. That is, found it. All right, there we go. Right, so I'm going to start by giving the helpline numbers because I did promise that and I don't want to leave here without giving that information. Please. So for our women, you can call our WhatsApp 876-553-0372, and this is a line that is open 24/7. That's 876-553-0372. And for our men, because we do understand and recognize that even though they are not the primary victims of abuse, men do get abused too.
Yes.
And it is something that as a society we also need to address. For the men, the number is 876-553-0387, and that is also a 24/7 number. That's open. Yeah. Yes. You can also call for free 888 No Abuse. That's 888-662-2873. And that one is open from Mondays to Fridays from 8:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the evening. So those are the numbers. For us now specifically as WMW Jamaica and the We Talk Project, persons can reach out directly to our cell number at 502-3671, or they can email hello@wmwja.org.
And the social media pages?
And our social media pages are WMWJA on LinkedIn and Facebook, and WMW Jamaica on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Love that. Well, thank you so much, Ruth Ann, the program manager for We Talk, once again, for the reduction of gender-based violence.